Hi, thank you for letting me be here today and speak. This is honestly the best, and it's such an honor. I just want to start off by saying that I consider myself to be very lucky and fortunate. Not only I get to speak here, but I have a great job, have a great family, house, but of course, life has its ups and downs. And with those, you have to realize that even with your ups and downs, you have to create those memories and experiences and take them for your strengths. Of course, you're gonna have your ups where you have a lot of things going for you and you feel like you're at your peak. But there's, of course, the lows in life that are gonna knock on your door and introduce themselves, but you still have to welcome them with open arms so that you can grow and be a better person. Um, Lately, I've been reading or listening to a great audiobook called Life is Not Complicated, You Are by Carlos Wallace, and I just want to share three extraordinary quotes that I believe pertains to having a good life and just having those experiences. The first chapter is foundation, and three quotes. The first quote is, good friends and family that you surround yourself with is absolutely your, it should be the environment that you spend, your time in, that people that really motivate you and make you a better person. Your environment really counts. A life well lived is truly a blessing. Your health, if you can, if you can go places and come back in one piece, that's a blessing just in all. We take little things for granted, but it's truly a blessing. And when you use your experiences to build you instead of breaking you down. So definitely taking all of your ups and your downs in life and using those for your, just to grow and to be better. Another chapter in the book is adversity, and it really talks about him, the author, and his mother going through a tough time in her beginning. But overall, the chapter really highlights that no one can take you down what God has built up. And you should, be strong in your abilities and who you are as a person. You should be proud of who you are, and to teach yourself that even though you are different, it should be a strength, it should be a motivation. And then success also, that love never fails, and to have faith in your abilities, again, to be strong and stop caring what everyone else thinks, because people are gonna take you down, they're gonna tell you no, and it's gonna feel overwhelming, and you're gonna wanna step back and reevaluate who you are and know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and just know that ultimately all of these, your foundation, who you are, your success, is all a part of your growth. And foundation truly defines who you are. Whether it's your background, your traditions, your family. I mean, it's who you and where you come from. Especially being an immigrant child, having my family to come to America and start from scratch, it was tough because you had to learn how to balance not only your traditions, your culture, but also the American way of life. And having that mix, you had to make sure that you're not overpowering one or the other. And definitely in the book, it quotes that having good friends and family to surround yourself with really defines for me, my safe place, because they constantly remind me like who I am, where I come from, where my roots are, and definitely takes me and reevaluates who I am. And that is what ultimately helps me feel grounded, and my growth as, you know, a Pakistani but also an American. Like, I can have that, I can go back one or the other, I can go and just have that mentality of I am who I am, and that's okay. Even if I'm different or if I'm not like the rest, it's okay. And to have that support system and to be reminded that it's okay to be different. And that foundation is what ultimately describes and defines adversity. And adversity, difficulties, and misfortune. In high school, I was trying to find my role. I was trying to fit in with the crowd. And I found drill team. I found that I love to dance, and I've been so passionate about dancing ever since I was little, but I never had the opportunity to take that chance until I found my high school's dance team. I practiced, I trained, and I did my best, even with the basics of getting a split, a pirouette. But the only thing that held me back were basically I was comparing myself to other girls that were trying out. But these girls had more experience, more training, and more exposure. Well, I was just trying to learn a basic split. They have already conquered that when they were 3, 4 years old. Well, I was just trying to do as best as I can. And it was tough. But I tried it anyways. I took that chance. And I knew this is what made me the happiest. And I made the team. And it was great. It was a blessing. It was a relief. And it really showed me the power of not giving up. Because practicing every single day and trying to nail a simple pirouette, and even if I fell down from the turn, I got back up and I tried again and again and again. And finally, after tryouts and making the team, and everything just fell into place, and it was the best. And going through the team, I still faced the challenge of comparing myself to these other girls. Even though I was making the dances, I didn't feel like I was doing everything that I could, but I tried. And I tried my best. And I feel like that's what matters most. That at the end of the day, as long as you are you, that's what really makes you a better person. And I reminded myself that every single day, and it really got me through it. And in the book, he teaches us that even through this adversity, the difficulties of comparing yourself and, you know, finding difficulties through life, you should always believe in yourself and be confident and empower yourself, because you know you and you know your capabilities, your ability. Imagine you have a piece of paper and you crumple it up. Now, imagine there's a trash can right in front of you and you make your shot. Easy, right? Now, imagine that trash can is 10 feet away from you, 20 feet away from you, 100 feet away from you. Will you still make that shot? Well, it depends if you're like Michael Jordan or something. Well, that's what life does to you sometimes, but not to everyone. The concept of privilege. It's a heavy concept, but me having privilege in retail, well, not really. So I took on the chance, and to start a new job was exciting, and I was ready to take on a new job, and that was retail. I loved it, and I was excited to try customer service and learn new skills and build experience. But being the new girl, it wasn't all that fun. And I had the employer of favoring most of the old employees rather than the new ones. And I didn't feel just this. It was all of us, all the newbies, that felt out of place. And even though we were doing all the hard work, we were doing the tedious jobs, it wasn't enough for us to put into practice. And we felt that we were being robbed of having that experience and to grow. And honestly, that environment wasn't where we felt the most safest. And the privilege of the older employees having to have the most interactive, fun, easygoing jobs while we were stuck doing the hard jobs, like staying past closing hours just to clean up everyone's mess. Despite all my hard efforts, I still felt like I was being treated unequally. And it's true, not everyone has the same opportunities, but it made me realize that even though I didn't have the same opportunity, I still use those experiences to build me up, to give me strength, and to carry on. And I think that's the most important thing, that no matter what you have, the good or the bad, to use even the bad for a positive, healthy outlook. Success. To be proud of even your failures. And those failures are what truly makes you the strongest. After listening to this audiobook and hearing his words speak to me, I felt a sense of optimism and motivation to be a better, healthier individual. And to be able to view his side of life and hear his experiences made me realize that we're all in this together. That sure, we're not experiencing it at the same time, but we are, in fact, all in this together. And that we're not alone, that I'm not alone. And with that, I would like to create 3 goals for myself: to be kinder, to be helpful, and to love myself more. And I think that's what really matters, to love yourself and to be kind, to be helpful. And I hope to establish those 3 things in my everyday life. And that is what Carlos Wallace really instilled in me. And to be able to hear his view, his experience, and to hear his side of the story, and him saying that take what you need. And honestly, what I needed was that realization, that contentment, that no matter what you go through, to be grateful for what you have, and through the ups and the downs, just be aware and just know that everything will be okay. Thank you.